Good morning, hello, how are we all in our world today? So, those who are new to this group, those who are new to this channel, my name is PJ, and we are in the group Channel to Consciousness. And literally, this group has been helping people lift their vibrations so they can reach that higher level of consciousness. And what better time to have arrived than right now with everything in the world. So hello everybody. Hello, thank you for all the waves. Hi Caitlin. Hey Britt. Hi everybody. Lovely to see you all watching. So this is a group that is, you're welcome to share, invite people on, because it is an explanation, it is information. We are doing a little 12-part series as we go through this. So this is a part of that little like mini training course, but it's like a mini healing course as well, as I go through and do information and explanation on what we call the stepping stones, the pillars of consciousness, the lifting into the higher vibration. And my goodness, don't we all need it now? All right, so I've been looking forward to this pillar and explaining this pillar for you in relation to what's happening in the world at the moment, because we're on part 5 of 12 of our little series here. Each of these lives that I'm doing is a standalone piece of information, but it's also a collection of a 12-part series that I'm going through, and I'm loving getting all your responses and feedback. Thank you to everybody who is telling me that they're enjoying it and listening and getting value out of it. So thank you so much for all of that. So we're going to explain to you what this is all about, because if you haven't listened to the other parts of this little 12-part series that I'm putting together, then please go back at one point and listen to them from part 1 onwards. You can listen to these in isolation, so sick of that word, independently. You can listen to them one-on-one, because they'll all have their own meaning, but also listen to them as a part of the collective group, because the information is actually will be connecting in one by one. So what is happening, and what I was told 8 years ago, that in 8 years' time, which is now, that the world will go through a recalibration. And we speak about this word in the pillar code all the time. Every single appointment and every pillar that we take our clients through, we are speaking about where they are up to in their recalibration. What calibration? In other words, what level are they up to in each particular pillar? Where are they up to in their body? Where is their calibration on their mind on that pillar? Where is their calibration on their life on that pillar? And so the clients get with each pillar, they have this understanding of this, their calibration and where they're up to. And calibration is just a word for measurement. It's a measuring tool. You know, if you go into a mechanical shop or any type of, transport logistics scales or anything, you calibrate to make sure everything is actually measuring correctly, and you find out where that measurement is. So calibration is a resetting, a rechecking, and make sure everything is coming back to the actual correct state of that balance. What is happening in the world, and we've been warned about this for about 8 years now, is the world is going to go through a recalibration. So that's all that this is. It is rechecking and it is resetting the planet, and therefore everybody in it. And so at this point, you're going to start to feel that unease. You may start to feel that inconvenience. You might start to feel that bit of claustrophobia or so on, because the world is actually going through this recalibration. So what we're going to speak to you about today is about the recalibration for the world and you. And what does it mean for you? What is it actually resetting in you? Because it is like this complete and utter computer shutdown to reboot. When there's something that's going wrong with your computer, what do? You told by specialists in the IT world, turn it off and turn it back on again. And that is the best trick for your computers. And we all know that, and we all have a little joke about it. But what do? Turn it off and turn it back on, and sometimes miraculously, for no reason at all your problems go away and you can get along with your computer work. The world is going through something similar. So think of it as a reboot and think of it as a recalibration. Now, I'm going to go in and explain to you about the world calibration first. So, recalibration, let's get right into it. The world is required to actually reset. So you're actually having this global reboot, this global recalibration. And this is a good thing. So what happens, think about before a reboot, think about before a recalibration is required. You are your most dysfunctional, you're at your most disadvantage. When you're looking at a scale being recalibrated, when you look at great big transport logistics machinery being recalibrated, they get recalibrated, and just think about it, the day before the recalibration is really where that process or that machinery may be its most off center, because the recalibration brings it back into center. When you're looking at scales or balancing, when you're looking at your computer, when you have to reboot your computer, it's at its greatest dysfunction before you shut it down and bring it back up again. So this is a reboot. But what is happening in the reboot, as we've spoken to about 3 or 4 messages back, you always have to have a 3 component. Any message, any action, any function, any dysfunction, any healing, and so on. You must have a mind component, a body component, and a soul component to it in everything. You can tell me anything. You can actually put anything up here, and we will explain to you where there's been a mind, body, and soul component to that action or reaction. So what has happened is there has been a mind requirement for planet to reboot. There has been a body requirement for the planet to reboot, and there's certainly been a soul component for the planet to reboot. So the mind component is that anxiety, it's the fear, and it's been the busyness. It is the busyness. The world went crazy with busy, thinking the busier you are, the more successful you are, the more money that you'll have, and the more happier you will be, and you'll be a better person in your community, and so on. So the mind requirement was because of this busyness and this crazy reshuffling, and then everybody running around like busy bees. Can you imagine lifting up and looking at it from universe's eye, looking down on the planet and seeing this crazy busyness that's going on, but not seeing any productivity at the end of it? Can you have a look at, just how silly it looks? Just how silly it looks. Everyone looks so busy. They're trying to find love, but they're leaving a loving home and loving children to run out the door to try and find love. They're trying to find success, but they're sitting, in a beautiful home, and they're sitting with beautiful family where they've got the ability to interact and play games and speak and educate, but then they leave home to actually find more success. What are you finding more success for? So you can bring things back into the home and give your family more, but you're actually giving your family less. It's just stupidity. It is all just stupidity. And everyone has fallen into this trap, except those who have lifted into this consciousness have stepped back out of that and realized that less is more. That beautiful saying, less is more. Have less in your home and you'll have more space in your home. Have less in your life and you'll have more space for your loved ones and your family. Have less to do and you'll have more time to look after you, and so on. If you have less activities and jobs and things that are happening, you're going to have less expenses, so you're going to have more money. Less is more, and this is the mantra of this particular session that we're going to speak to you about. So what is happening is that the mind has been on this busy. The output, or the exhaust pipe out the back of the mind, is all this crap that has been thrown into Mother Earth. all this pollution and all the toxicity and all the dirty waterways and all the dirty air and all the dirty landfill. And you have got air and you've got land and you've got water, muck. And it's just absolutely disgraceful that you haven't cleaned up your own home. So the body has needed this reboot. And then there is the soul reboot about why you are here, why you are actually on this planet, why you are actually universal beings. You are beings of light. You are beings of consciousness. You are the highest version of love that there is. You are the purest source, the infinite source. You are the connection of all. You are you are from one. You are one. You are the collection of one. You are of the greatest energy, the greatest form, the greatest source, the greatest love that there is. You are universe. You are love. You are consciousness, and you are been put into isolated, you have put into pods, you are put into individual components for you to go about as separate beings, to come back to understand that you've always come from the one universal source, the one level of consciousness, which is love. So we're going to say this more in a simpler way. You've started from love, you've come into an individual pod separating so you can learn that you're love. That is it. That is life. That is life in a nutshell. That is your reason. That is your being. That is the meaning. That is the connection. And when you look at the pillar coding that we've delivered to the planet, when you look at that, you can even look at, someone has said, what is the meaning of life? And the answer came back, 42. Well, we have had a lot of fun with that number because 42, 4 is the pillar that we're about to speak of, and that is the balance of life, and 2 is love. Balance your life with love, and that's what we're going to be speaking about today, because this is all around your pillar 4 today. So the world has needed this global reboot. Get rid of this busyness of mind. Shut it down. Calm it down. Get rid of the absolute waste and the disgraceful use of the resources and the waste and the rubbish and the pollution in your home, Mother Earth, and that is get back under control. And then the soul component is stop looking for why you are here. Stop running around and being less than you are. Stop feeling that you do not have the requirement or the capability or the skill sets to actually do and be and have what it is you can give to this world, to the community through your gifts, because you are here as an individual with the higher consciousness of love as your backer, as your supporter, whether you call that universe, God, love, light, consciousness, we don't mind. But it is a love energy. And that is bringing back your confidence. So there are 3 things that we speak about. And 8 years ago, we gifted this channel the coding and the information that will bring the individual and the planet back into these 3 things. That is calmness, control, and confidence. The first 3 pillars we've taken you through is the calmness. We're just embarking on the control. This is the first one in pillars 4, 5, and 6 to go into control. And then the last 3 are all about confidence. The planet is requiring this reboot for everything to just calm down, get back in control, and have the confidence that you are a part of this global community. All right, any questions on all of that? So that is the connection for the world. That is what's happening with the world. Where do you individually sit with that? So what we just said, you look back into your individual message, because this is what's happening to you as well. As an individual, please look at, has your mind been too busy? Have you been running around with your mind and trying to fill up space? People in fear will try to fill up space. And what happens with that is that they will plop things into their mind because they're scared of what that space means. Space means that other pieces of information can come in. Space means that you may be given a joy of purpose. Space means you may be given information and decisions to change things, and you fear of change. Space means you can center and actually feel that love consciousness within you. Space means you have given yourself the opportunity to put yourself first. Space means you are connecting. And the last pillar we just spoke to you about was the pillar 3 of connection. These pillars go in order. It is pillar 1, peace, gain your peace. Pillar 2, love, connect into your love. Pillar 3, connection, connect into your direction, your joy, and being in your now. And now pillar 4 we're speaking to you about is the pillar of balance. Think of yourselves as a seesaw, and there's the balance, and you have the masculine and the feminine. This is the balance between strength and weakness. This is the balance between masculine and feminine. This is the balance between intellectual and intuitive. This pillar is what the world is pivoting on at the moment. It is a global reboot to rebalance and reconnect so that you are sitting in your equilibrium and you can recalibrate into a life of choosing. So individually, what is going on in your mind? Calm your mind, have your space, and you are now in lockdown. You are forced into literally doing this so you can have more space, more peace of mind. That expression, peace of mind. If you just went back and listened to the expressions in your language, there are messages upon messages upon messages that are telling you exactly what to do and how to live your life. The expression, well, that gives me peace of mind. Peace of mind is such an important vibrational message for you to keep. Then when you go into the balance of your own body, what is it in your body that you're required to clean up? What is it that you're consuming or doing or not consuming or not doing, you're not listening to, you're not connecting to? What is it in your body? If you have a disease, disorder, or dysfunction, there is no requirement for it. If you have an imbalance, there's no requirement for it. You must get the message about why the body is speaking to you, why the body is telling you things, because pain is just a communication. Disease, disorder, dysfunction is just a communication. You can tell me any particular dysfunction in your body, it will have an absolute message behind it. It is not saying that we're not validating pain within the body. We absolutely do, but there is a message behind it. Get your message, understand your message. All those clients listening, get back to your pillar practitioners and get your messages. Move the pain, move the dysfunction, move the toxicity. Get yourself rebalanced back into your body, because this is the balance between strength and weakness, and this is the balance between vulnerability and resilience. So we're looking at the balancing act to lift your resilience, because it is time that you lifted your resilience, and the quietening down of your life is the way to do it. When you look at the soul component of this, this is your soul resilience. And when you sit there and you can understand what resilience is, it's not ego, it's not pushing yourself out there, it's just being resilient to anything that is coming through in your world. You can then understand that being vulnerable is a very scary feeling to have and to connect into. So feel that vulnerability, step out of your shadow and step into the pillar side, which is the resilient side. This is all around balance. So we are looking at recalibrating you and your recalibration. What is it that is in your life that's not serving you any longer? What is it that's in your life that you're choosing to bring in? What is it that is in your life that you are requiring your recalibration for? Because this is the time to do it. This is the time to act. This is the time to look at what is happening. So when we are looking at the mind of you, we are looking at, is your mind in weakness or is your mind in strength? When you're having a look at your body, this is connected to your heart and your lung vitality. The heart is on the feminine side and the lung is on the masculine side. In this pillar, what we are explaining is that the body is separated into left and right, masculine and feminine. And your brain is connected to the opposite side. So your left brain connects your right side, your right brain connects your left side. So anything that is happening in your body will have a masculine or a feminine message around it. Anything that's happening all down your left side is the feminine energy. It's the feminine side that's relating to your nurturing, your healing, any feminine people energies in your life, your intuition and so on, your healing. The right side is that intellectual, that analytical, that support structure. It's your career, it's your finance, any males in your life. So when you really bring it down, the masculine is the intellectual, the feminine is the intuitive. Anything that's happening in your body right now, if you've got one sore knee, what is it, left or right? You'll get your message. Knee is about not being able to step forward in progress. If you've got one sore shoulder, what is it, masculine or feminine? You can look in, you can actually have a look and see what is happening in your body. This is the pillar for it. This is the pillar for the pillar of balance. And this is recalibrating so you can get balance back. You speak about work-life balance. Well, what does that mean? You're about to find out. Have you been on the treadmill of illusion, running and running and running and running and running, and the treadmill is stationary and you've been as busy as a bee, but you haven't got anywhere further in your career, or you haven't got any further in your finances, or you haven't got any further in your relationship, or you haven't got any further towards that promotion, but you feel like you've just been on this treadmill constantly. This global recalibration is showing you to stop. It is such a gift. This is an amazing opportunity for the world to right itself and you individually right yourself, because you are the individual cells of the universe. And as we tell you that you are a part of one, you're part of the consciousness, you are part of that love vibration, you are also a part of that global community. So when one lifts, you all lift. So the more that wake up and lift into that consciousness, the more connect back into that higher self, that universal parent. Universal parent is what we call up. Lift up. Be up. Lift yourself up. Up. Acronym, universal parent. Lift yourself into that frequency. Lift yourself into that higher vibration. You will re-energize. You will start your day feeling like you can take on the world. And your world at the moment is your home. Your world is the moment is your home. So make sure everything comes in, but everything maintains in its calmness and its control and its confidence, because this is the pillar for the pillar of balance, and you have been corrected, overcorrected into the opposite of what you've been doing. When you correct a car, when you are going off the road and you are realizing that you are off track, the first natural reaction is to overcorrect, and then you go off the other side. But what happens over the overcorrection? You come back into balance. We're going to say this again because it's incredibly important for you to understand, especially those who are in fear, especially those who are stressed or anxious about this particular time. There's a stress around the situation about the virus itself, but there is a far greater stress about the reaction and the overcorrection around the virus. So what has happened? We've gone off course, and there's been a correction. That overcorrection is then going to come back into center, and that is a brilliant thing. That is an absolutely brilliant thing. So whether or not you believe there's been an overreaction in the response, or whether or not you believe it's a fantastic reaction in the response to the coronavirus, it doesn't matter. What has happened is the wheels have gone way off the highway, and always after an overcorrection, there is a straight line ahead. You are going to have this straight line ahead. You are going to have this beautiful alignment ahead of you. You've just got to ride the wave of going off path and coming back into past that overcorrection. This is such an important piece of the puzzle of this information that we've been sharing with you. Such an important piece. What happens when we take people through the pillar code is pillars 1, 2, 3, which we've done with you. Peace, love, and connection. They're literally to pare things back, to strip the stresses away, to take things away from your mind, from your body, and the pain from the soul. Take things away and literally come back to start to rebuild. Pillar 4 onwards is then, let's have a look at the rebalancing. What is it that needs to then balance as you start to build? And then the pillars 6, 7, 8, 9 are the ones who literally then it skyrockets, and then the finances of the career or the information or the relationships start coming through. So this is now about is the resetting, because you can look at your past and that's the review. You look at your present and that's the repair. You're in the repair now. And then you look at your future, which we'll be doing in a few sessions time, and that's the reset. And it is so important to go through those 3 processes, because in 5 years' time, do you want more of what this is? In 10 years' time, do you want more of what this is? In 20 years' time, do you want more of what this is? Some of you have done so much beautiful healing that you're in the life of your dreams, and others are just dreaming of the life that you would choose. Which one are you? I am so at peace at home, cooking, spending time with family, slowing down, nourishing mind, body, and soul, doing creative work. Absolutely. So there are so many people who are going to be so calm when they're in that space. Please understand that the overcorrection, this is what we're speaking about today. You know, we've gone off path, we're overcorrecting to come back. Please understand, and this is not to add fear, but it's just awareness, this overcorrection will actually start to hurt. It could come in the form of claustrophobia. It could come in the form of total isolation. It could come in the fear of how are you paying your bills. It could come in the fear of you can't get down to your local restaurant or get your hair done or get you know whatever it is. So it could come in the fear of your whole world is collapsing. It could come in the fear that there are people in hospital who are requiring your support and visiting, but that you can't get to. There are still processes in life. There are still people dying on the planet from everything other than coronavirus and their natural processes. You know, that they're transitioning out of this journey, and they're transitioning out of this journey maybe without all of the support and all the visits and all the family and the connections that they would normally have been blessed with at their time of transitioning. So there's going to be a lot of normal life things happening that won't be reacted to in a normal life setting. So please understand, stay firm, stay in your calmness, and stay in that control and confidence as we guide through this particular overcorrection, and as we come back into this absolutely beautiful new recalibrated way of living. All right, any questions? Any questions at all? Any questions about how I received this information? Any questions about George? Any questions about the pillar coding? I'm going to leave you with a very simple little coding on this before I go, or I'll wait for the questions. So if you see me drinking water as I do this work, I literally will go through one or two of these. I'm constantly requiring the water as I channel this information through. Simon, I'm doing online exercise classes on Zoom to keep moving and keep people connected. Beautiful. Feel free to put your link up here. Anyone who has got a online process, who's got an online program, online support, anything is in a positive sense, please feel free to put your links up if you choose. All right. Will George always use you for communicating to us? Good question. Okay, so in an answer, yes. I'll get George to answer this one. So the channel literally is the conduit or the connection for this particular universal consciousness. So it's a calibration between the universal message that is required to come through the channel for this particular information, and that channel has the frequency and the vibration and the connection and the intellect to actually be able to connect into that particular wavelength. So universe has a whole host of information. If you look at universe like an absolutely most majestic library, and there is all sorts of modules and information to come through. The George collection is the information coming through to wake up the consciousness, to lift the people into the high vibration of themselves, to lift into love. It is the vessel between intellect and love. It is the connection between universal love and intellect. It is allowing all to actually lift into the balance of both. People feel that they've either needed to go onto complete and utter intellectual understanding or intuitive understanding. People feel that as they're waking up that they need to stop their careers and then they go into their intuitive. But we say to them, you are to be both. And you can see that the channel we have chosen is not a typical spiritual hippie type channel. It is someone who has actually been in the business world and the connection to intellect and the corporate world, and how to do the business of life, literally how to run business and be in high level business of life, and connecting into universal information to come into this way. We would not deliver information through this channel on the best ways to look after animals, or the best ways to look after the plant kingdom, or the best ways to actually look at the cleaning up of the oceans or something. So this particular George channel will only ever come through this vessel, because it is a set message and it's a set form of information. Whilst we will answer any questions, there is one theme with this particular connection, and that is waking up in the vibration of love. That is connecting in the vibration of love. That is lifting you to the highest vibrational form that you can. This is coaching you, guiding you, encouraging you, mentoring you to be the best version of yourself that you can. That there is more to you, there is more to you, and that there is more to you. So in a sense, all of this information delivering through this unique modality called the pillar code onto the planet is all this one universal module that is come through, so that this channel can expand this and deliver this to the planet. There are other people picking up other pieces of information that they will not call that information George, because it isn't a universal private partnership between this universal information and the connection of this channel, for which we have called this George. Because when you look at George, globally enlightened, origin, restoring, governing energy, that is the KPI given to this channel. That is the indicator given to this channel to deliver this information to the world. Others will have other information. Other people will be receiving information from universal consciousness, but not in the element or the framework or the partnership or the connection that comes from George to PJ. Does this answer your question? All right. Where did all those questions? Thank you for that question. I've never heard that answer before. I have been experiencing a breakdown in technology. Is this a trend? Yes, this is a trend, and this has been happening to me. So this has been happening here as well. So technology is a connection. So technology is the outstretch of your arm into the connection. If you imagine your connection from universe up and your connection to technology out, what is happening is when technology technology out is broken, what it's saying is connect more up. So it's just stop and pause and wait for this pause to actually get your rebooting for you to reconnect up, and then you'll have this beautiful vibration out that you can connect into. So if you are experiencing technology issues, it will pass, but it'll only pass when you actually reboot and reconnect yourself up and find out the solution from that point forward. Okay, we're going to do a quick coding on here on this pillar. So this has been the pillar 4, the pillar of balance. This is masculine versus feminine. This is the intellect versus intuitive. This is the career and the safety and the security and masculines versus the intuitive and your healing, your nurturing and your feminine and so on. So we're going to just do a little coding on this. Just going to give a number, 4 or 5. Just one number, 4 or 5. All right, so if you would like to put your numbers up, that'd be fantastic. What we just coded there was which part of you is more likely to require a boost in energy. Is it your masculine side? Is it your feminine side? Which part of it is requiring you to lift? In other words, which one may be more sabotaged during this particular situation? So if you received 4, that's the feminine side. If you received 5, that's the masculine side. So 4 is the feminine. 4 is and Kirsten, 4 feminine, so that's all around the mother. So 4 is feminine. So what is happening here? You're more likely to lose your calmness, your control, or your confidence in your gut instinct, into your intuition, into your natural healing, into the feminine side, or into females in your world. So you're needing a little bit of healing. You're needing that prop up. You're needing really get that feminine side of you lifted, because what's happening, the masculine is taking over. The masculine side will be taking over, going, how do I pay my bills? What do I do with finance? What am I doing with my job? I've got to get the job sorted first before I get the family sorted, and so on. So what's happening with that? You're more likely having an imbalance in that way, if that makes sense to you. If you received a 5, it's the masculine side that is needing a prop up. So you have dropped into the negative of the career, the finance, males in your life, the analytical, the intellectual, that's weakening through this situation. And so the instinct, the intuition, the family, the mothering, the healing is taken over, but it's an imbalance that way. So you have your greatest gifts and your greatest strengths when you actually balance the two and you actually right the two, not one overpowering the other. So this is about making sure you are balancing the intellect with the intuitive, balancing the love of the masculine with the feminine, balancing the career and the finance and the logic with your intuitive and your healing and your instinct. Balance the two. If you are just sitting now all analytical, going, how do I do this and how do I get myself out of that? You are cutting off the intuition. If you were going, I'm ignoring all the facts, I'm just going to use my instinct, you're going to be draining your energy because you're trying to use your instinct, but you're not matching it with the intellectual. We are not here just to be spiritual beings. We are not. We are here to actually use the intellect of what we've been given and blend that in with the instinct and the intuition of home, which is our love force. So when you can match the two, balance the two, that is when you've got that perfect storm, and that's where your resilience will be, that's where your strength will be. This is where we have a look at with every client. This is where we have a look at what in your past has taken you down. What are the splinters and the blocks in your past that are still stuck in your energy system, stuck in your mind, stuck in your subconscious or your unconscious, that constantly keeps pulling you back into the same stuff all the time. You've got to get that up and get that out of your system so you can be the greatest version of you and progress yourself forward. All right. what a session. I've really enjoyed that. So let me just say, unless there's any questions, I'm happy to answer, but I'll start to finish off if there is no more questions. Please, if anybody wants to talk to me, if there's anything I can do for anybody, just reach out. We are here, our practitioners are here. Connect in. Clients, make sure you just keep on your appointments. Anyone who wants to speak to me about how you're going, just reach out. Just reach out to me. We will be announcing that we are about to do practitioner training online. So all of those people overseas who've been asking me for years, how do they become a pillar practitioner? We're about to release some dates, information. We are dropping the price of practitioner training to put it online and to get more and more people tuned, trained, coded, and give them all the skills and tools to help them set up their own pillar practice business. So I'm very, very excited about that, and it's been a big kick up the pants from George. So we will be letting people know about that. But if anyone would like to, if you're stressed, if you need to reach out, but keep the calm, keep the control, and keep the confidence. And we will speak to you tomorrow. And we hope you have an amazing day. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will speak really soon.